Screen. You're gonna drink. Don't drink during it.
Why?
Hey, we're live.
Oh, wait. Hey, welcome to Paving the Way.
We're not really live yet.
No, we are.
Oh,
B&M
we are?
Builders podcast. Today we're going to talk about getting the most out of your employees in 2023. This will be the last podcast in 2022.
This is not a forced labor thing. This
What does
is
that
getting them to want to work well.
Oh, getting the most out of our
not
employees.
forced labor.
Not forced labor. Today, actually, we decided to bring in Sean. Sean, you want to say hello? You want to tell us a little bit about your background? You're actually, Sean, where are you working now?
So currently I am on the HVAC side at B&M. Prior to that, I have many years of hospitality, hotel, restaurants, all that kind of fun stuff. So
Okay.
A lot of management
a
experience.
lot of management, a lot of people dealing, and
You've had a lot of employees.
a lot of employees.
Okay, so that's kind of why I thought actually this is a last minute thing for Sean, so don't put any pressure on. He literally had 2 minutes notice and then walked in, so
As we
I-
all did.
I just thought Austin had 24 hours notice. Don't listen. He just didn't check his email. Uh,
I thought I learned that from Davey.
I just thought we could actually.
Sorry.
That was not funny.
Okay, we'll get back.
I don't do email. That's just the problem. So I thought Sean would be a good addition to bring in, and he could probably teach us some things to talk about getting the most out of our employees for 2023. So we kind of came up with the 10 biggest tips that we have. I think we can elaborate these and talk about them in all varieties, and we'll kind of run through those. We have some slides brought up. I think our slide ones are our best podcast anyways, but because we can't control ourselves. We have the screen up there now. Yes. So getting the most out of our employees with 2023. I can't believe it's almost 2023.
That's crazy. Time flies. when you're having
2022 is.
Today's one of those days.
Yes. So B&M Builders today. Today we're going to discuss the 10 topics, like I said, talk about some practical things you can do in your organization to help improve employee morale and
Yeah, teamwork.
teamwork.
Really, like JB likes to talk about teamwork. Literally everything is about teamwork, and leadership has a lot to do with that. And one of the reasons we wanted to bring Sean on is because he's dealt with a lot of employees in his past. He hasn't been in the construction industry per se, but he's dealt with a lot of employees and making people streamline and getting the best out of people when not everybody is going to be the best, but you have to foster that attitude and you have to foster what you want to grow. So that's why we brought him in.
Wow.
We'll also talk about proven techniques and strategies that you can work on, and then discussing the role of leadership, which is a big one. In talking about this, it's funny. Oh, that little thing was there. Improved teamwork and organization. It's funny actually because I feel like I read through a lot of these things, and I feel like, well, we obviously I think always need to work on getting better with our employees, right? So I was like, I don't even know if we should be talking about this because I feel like an imposter. But as you start to read through these, I feel like we do so many of these things. But I also feel like the reason that we do is because we're always trying to get better. Even if we do 50 or 60 or 70% of the things we're talking about, there's always more we can do.
If you don't talk about it,
Yeah.
you can't fix it.
And I think striving to do more is a big part of it. Like I'm always striving to do more. I'm constantly thinking about how we can do things better for our employees while still keeping the business, strong and financially safe.
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot of good things that we can add on these topics. But
I think we got a lot.
just because we're talking about it doesn't mean that we're 100%. I'm not saying we're 100% in all these topics. I think some of these we can work on, and some of them I think we're really good at.
Honestly, if you're watching and you have some input, feel free to, drop a line to us on the podcast or Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anywhere.
I would love that. I'd love to hear a lot of this stuff. I think employee
LinkedIn
retention and keeping people on is one of the most difficult things we have, even finding good employees. So we're always actually, side note, I'm not sure if you call it, what you call it, but we're also looking to hire. So you got experience in asphalt, you got experience in HVAC,
We're
probably
in the
some
restaurant business.
Please go to the website and check us
Some of the
out.
stories I've heard, we can teach you to sweep. Just kidding.
All right. So number one of the 10 effective tips for improving teamwork in your organization.
We'll call them commandments.
I do.
Okay, maybe we won't.
I'm not going Sunday. I don't know about you.
Okay. Number one, I think, I don't know if anybody's going to disagree with this one, but clear communication. I know that we need, by we, I mean Austin, needs to work on this a lot. No, I'm just
Thanks for
kidding.
that.
I think communication's a constant battle, right? I mean, I think constantly. I'm the only one that drink that's fucked up. I think communication is a constant battle. I think that we work really hard. I think I'd say probably 3 to 4 years ago, every employee would have said our communication sucked, right?
That's what we're lacking, and we're
But we're getting better.
Yeah, doing a lot better communicating with our PMs that communicate to our foremans, that communicate to our employees in the field,
And communication with the people that are running our projects.
and then as well as getting the feedback from our employees to the office to see what we can do to strengthen their teams. I'd say night and day difference in 2022.
I agree.
Yes, I agree. But I also feel like we have so far to go when it comes to communication. I posted it on my desk just talking about our communication.
Once you start to think you've got it down, that's when you start to fail. So there's always room for growth. There's always room to.
I just noticed I was playing with my beard the whole time. And now I'm super, super, super weak.
You want me to do it for you?
No.
Oh, hey, Pat, you don't gotta worry about it. Sean can't keep his hand off my thigh.
So Sean, what's a little bit? Tell me about your thoughts on communication. I mean, I'm assuming. I mean, you've dealt with a lot of people, so I mean, how important is communication to you?
Clear communication is very, very important. I think within that, setting a clear expectation for the teams is a big part of the communication piece. I think when you set your clear goals, everybody understands what your expectation is. The likeliness that there's a miscommunication or something missed is a lot less than, if the communication is poor.
That's not always the easiest thing to do is to set clear goals for people either.
It's funny because I just looked at this list when you said the word expectations, because I feel like that's another huge one, right?
Yeah,
setting expectations up front. I think letting people know, which we struggled with this in the past. I think we're getting a lot better at it. And Austin and I were just talking about this morning. I think Austin brought it up to me this morning. I'm saying, when we tell these guys, hey, this is what I need. This is where we need to be. Here's our deadline. Here's what we're doing. Is we're all kind of working towards that same goal, right? And they know, because how many times have we sent someone out there and we're like, what the hell, guys? You went way over schedule. And they're like, I don't know what our schedule was. Like, you didn't tell me how many days I had or how much time I had.
A lot of this can fall back to like your processes that you have in place. If you don't have written processes for like how things are finished and done, what is considered done, it's hard for the employees to know, okay, I'm done, or okay, I have to do this, that, and the other before I'm done.
Yeah.
So they might walk away from a job. Sorry to cut you off, but they might walk away from a job thinking they're done. But then we get a call from the customer and they're like, well, what's going on? When are you guys going to finish? Why isn't this done, that done? And it's like, a lot of this ties back to the processes, and processes are one of the main things that needs to be completed.
Yeah. And I think too, understanding that we may have a process now that we think is the best, but also being open to more processes in the future that are different than what we're used to, that
we're changing
a better
processes,
and it'd be adaptable to that.
Definitely.
That's a big one. I mean, this is going to be a 2-hour podcast, obviously, because we're still on step one, but I think that's 100%. I think your processes are never done, right? Once you get them done, now you start revising and adjusting and fixing.
And revising also can come from our employees. We're very vocal with our employees that even though we're the owners, we also don't have, the best process. We have the process that we believe are to be put in place and then tweaked.
Yeah. We're not always on site and know what needs to be done, know how it needs to be done.
So I think
what's going to be better.
In communication, what you're saying, since we're talking about clear communication, it really goes both ways, right? It's from the field, not just us.
Yes.
It's not just us talking to them. It's letting our employees and the guys in the field know, hey, you feel comfortable to communicate with us, talk to us.
And this is one of the things that actually the safety guy brought up. Me from the insurance company. From the insurance company. It's not a bad idea to have a box where people can put in random,
I like it, that.
random tips or what they think they see needs to be done without saying, hey, I'm this person and I think you need to do this. It can be completely anonymous.
I'm moving us to the next slide. But I will say we do have a safety text that we send out to all employees where they can all anonymously give tips of what things we can do to be safer. They go right to this file so we can all catch them. That's something we've been sending out, and we send that out, multiple times a year. But we're moving on.
Not everybody has an app.
We're going to literally be here for 2 hours. Okay, these steps 9, 8, 9, and 10 are going to literally get overlooked. I can guarantee it. Empowerment. I love the videos. I just keep watching the videos.
What's the definition of empowerment?
giving your
Webster's.
team the autonomy and resources they need to do their jobs
Great.
efficiently.
Now I can elaborate on this.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks. Go ahead, Austin.
Austin's actually really good at this. I mean, usually
Yeah.
we try to tear Austin down and trash talk
I
him,
haven't
but
usually-
We
today,
I'm-
but Austin's actually very good
But I
at
can
empowering. He'll set up his guys, he'll talk to them, get them lined out, and then he lets them do their job the way that they know how to do it. He likes to ask a lot of questions and make sure he understands so they can explain to him. He's very good at letting his guys
My
run their
first
stuff. though.
compliment of 2022. Here we go.
Yes.
Thanks, JD.
Yes. And December of 2023, I will have another one for you. That's on my list.
You can't give people too many compliments. We talk about this in the office all the
Because
time.
that's when I break down.
Yes.
When you compliment too often, that is when people.
I think empowerment has to also do with it just trust in people, right? We
Yeah.
trust in our guys. We hire and girls. We actually
Yeah.
have a girl on our paving crew now. We trust in our employees. We trust them to do the job, or else they shouldn't be here, and that's on us to get people who we trust.
Definitely.
So we're big on that, and I think we feel confident in empowering our people because we trust their skills. I'm hiring. My goal is to always hire people who are better than me. And that's what I want, right? So they should know the job better than me. I should just know how to make sure that we can get the best out of them and give them what they want.
Make sure they know what their goals are so that they have something to strive for. That is empowering to people. You have to let them know what is expected and what, basically how you bid the job, and say, hey, this is how we bid the job. I'm trying to empower you to get it done in this manner. So take the reins and run. Try your best. See what you can
I
do.
feel like we can still improve on that.
All right, number 3.
For sure. We're 25 minutes in already, guys.
Jamie
Are we
likes
really?
20
No.
minutes.
I have
Oh,
no
my
idea.
goodness.
The
Okay, no,
screen
we're
doesn't
not. We're
say
not.
anything.
Hey, we're
I
supposed
know.
to look like we're in 2 totally
I know.
separate rooms.
No, we're obviously
Dude,
in
we're not
separate
even in the
rooms.
same state.
I don't
Yeah.
even know where they are.
Collaboration. I feel like this is a great one. Let's let Sean start with this
I
one
don't
because
understand.
he's got his field outfit on.
So collaboration, I think again, I think the common denominator amongst all of these is communication. I think the same thing goes with collaboration, being open to conversations, whether that's formally, whether that's out in the field, whether that's, out on a team building exercise, whatever that looks like. Them feeling like they can come to you and say, hey, this is an issue I'm having, or this is a solution I have to a problem we've been having as a company. That's just kind of a big piece of people feeling like they're part of the bigger picture.
Yeah,
and
100%
they're part of what's going on, and that they have a voice, and that they're heard.
For sure. I think probably nobody knows this about us, but we're also a little crass at times. And I say that we've
What
put,
is-
yeah.
Word of the day.
Crash, can we drop a definition?
But Austin and I will spend a bunch of time in the office coming up with a plan and
Being
schedule. No. That's just,
Oh.
I'm just saying that sometimes we run our mouths. Yeah, loud,
What?
Austin. Loud and inappropriate, Austin, is what crass means.
Yeah.
We'll come up with a plan and we'll go to our foreman and say, hey, here's the plan. Here's how we do this job. And they'll be like, that is the fucking dumbest idea I've ever heard.
And an F-bomb.
I did do the F-bomb also.
Word of the day and F-bomb.
Wow.
Can
Censor this for your children.
we beep that, please? But they've told us that's a stupid idea. Like there's a way better way to do this. And I think that's why it goes back to the empowering, right? Is that we want guys who are comfortable saying, like, that's a dumb idea, man. Like you should be doing this a way easier way, and here we can go. We can bid this a certain way and plan to do it a certain way. And 3 days before, when we're laying this out, the foreman's like, no. This should be done way better. And for me, that's what we need. We need those guys. We need to collaborate with our field guys and let them know that you got to speak back to us and tell us. Like that's my
That goes
favorite
back
thing.
to hiring the best,
Yeah.
making sure that these guys have a lot of experience. We have a lot of experience in the office and being in the field, but when you bring in guys that have the even more experience and you collaborate with each other, it all ties together and just makes for a better run project, a better
And that's what I was
finished
gonna say.
product.
For this year. Our crews collaborating with each other is a huge. the
we worked
biggest
a lot
thing
on that this year.
is
and
taking our grading crew, which then turns into the concrete crew comes in after, and then they're collaborating with each other, and it makes things run so much more smooth. So that's a huge part in the field. We run multiple different operations from underground grading, paving to concrete. And if they're all on the same page, and with the communication and collaboration, it makes it run a lot smoother.
Absolutely.
And that's been a big benefit for 22 for us.
Sure. I totally agree.
I want to shout out to Junior if you're watching. Junior's
Yes!
Junior's our
That was our first shout out, I think.
That was a name drop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Name drop shout out.
Junior's our grading foreman, and he has kind of taken this
There's a picture there. Is that Junior? Tell me
by
that's
the
Junior.
reins and really done a good job with communication with the next step, who comes in after him, letting them know, setting up with their grades. So that's been a huge improvement for us.
Absolutely.
We've had some crazy jobs this year too, where you had to have so many clearances and medical clearances, and I hate to say it, but vaccines, or at least be immune to measles, mumps, and rubella. And
We're working around monkeys.
There's so many different things that are just, it's for UC Davis, and it's been pretty crazy to work
at a
with.
monkey lab at UC Davis. Oh,
Yeah.
All right,
We're supposed to be working on those monkeys. I'm just saying that was.
How-
funny.
where are we
we're
at?
at 15. We're at
Recon-
16 minutes.
Okay, so we
Recognition
got-
and reward.
We have 30 seconds
Okay.
per
Oh my goodness.
point.
Okay, we have to take turns then. Recognition and rewards. I think always
Yeah, I deserve
recognizing recognizing everyone, including Pat. I mean, I try to recognize
Wow.
Pat and let him know. I try to recognize Austin when he does good things and let him know. I think letting
And
them all
the guys,
know, right?
Really,
We-
it goes down to the guys.
I think a great one today is on the last 2 days we poured 5,200 square feet of concrete down at the
Yeah,
West
five
Sac
or six trucks at a
North
time.
Trail. Yeah, 6 trucks yesterday and 5 trucks today. And Austin and I were out there this morning, and I went and told every guy, man, like, hey, I really appreciate your hard work, how much you got done here. Like for us, I mean, 5 trucks in a day, it's a good size pour. A lot of companies can put down more, so I understand that's not as big, but
It's awesome.
for our size crews, I mean, it's a big pour for us. So I went out and told them personally how much we appreciate them, how much we appreciate their work and how hard it is. And I think recognition and rewards. I think the rewards kind of looks at like a financial status or like giving things. For me though, I'm big on letting people know, how much we appreciate their hard work and they're putting their time in with us. Like we appreciate that they're here, they're working with us. They could be working at 1,000 different companies. We try to do things to keep our guys working and to keep them busy and to make sure they have work when a lot of other companies aren't working, especially in today's economy, from what I'm hearing.
And the
gonna
big
get
thing
worse.
for us is, like JB was saying, he went and told everybody Merry Christmas. You guys are doing great.
I didn't say they're doing great. I said I
No,
appreciate
yeah.
their hard work.
Better not
Yes,
be.
yes.
I'm not.
But a lot of that is you recognizing somebody is a huge reward to them.
Yeah.
Just recognition of us coming out in the field and acknowledging that they're a human is huge. That's a huge reward for them. It's a great reward for us knowing that we have guys that they all know our
They
names.
care
We know their names
and they care.
and they want to work
Yeah.
for us because we're not just some guy in the office pointing fingers.
Yeah.
We're acknowledging them, and that's a big reward.
We care about our teams, and they care about what happens on the projects that we can get for them.
Okay, that sounds good. What's the next one?
I said one person. You just jumped on mine. So whatever.
Oh, sorry.
Support and development.
That's something JV really needs to work on.
Honestly, I could say that this ties back to something that JB and Austin have developed over the last year,
I'd say
and
JV
that's
is the developer.
moving guys from being our shop guys to teaching them how to do more and bringing them from the shop and helping sweep the floors in the shop,
Cleaning
keep the shop
toilets.
cleaning the toilets.
Sea
Not really.
rags,
We
all
have
kinds of
other
things.
cleaners that do that, but just being in the shop, working on equipment, making sure the equipment stays lubed and clean when it comes back. They fix stuff and moving forward
When's that
and
gonna
helping
happen?
them.
Well, I promised I would not cry on the podcast, but Pat has only trash talked us for that move, and it means a lot. That here in front of everybody, you would tell us that.
Oh, it's recorded now. So
Hey,
I will listen to this a
Hey,
1,000 times over.
Don't be a
'cause-
bitch, Greg.
Yeah.
Oh, Craig.
There's the B bomb. Support and development, which I think we focus a lot on. But Sean, you, especially in HVAC, I feel like this is talking about like just using tech or using other options. I think it's a big thing in that area. I'm sure where you came from, it's a big area. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think development's huge. I mean, obviously, both are support and development, but I think development, it keeps people engaged in the long term. Like they know that they can stick around and learn and build, and whether they stay here and build more or whether they take those skills and move on in life, all those pieces. My dad always taught me, it was like when you're going around learning things, it's like you're carrying a basket around, right? You're putting all these skills into your basket, and whether you stay there, whether you move on, these are skills that you're going to keep forever. So people value the fact that they can learn and train and develop themselves and apply that.
Definitely.
Yeah,
That's
And
awesome.
if somebody
I
does
dig it.
move on and they came from us with all these skills, I mean, that's valuable to not just us. We're not selfish people. Some people do need to move on, and it's great to hear if they do move on somewhere else. Where did you learn your set of skills in the basket?
Yeah.
And it comes
I mean,
from us.
honestly, you mentioned this, and it's like I think back to people that are applying for new positions. We've had guys that we've worked with, and then they've left, and then they come back and they have even more skills. And I feel like that just ties back to the whole, we've supported them and we've tried to develop them into a better worker, person, overall, just everything.
Yeah.
And they go elsewhere, but then they realize like we're actually a really great company to work with. We have a lot of fun. We have great teams, and people want to be here and they want to come back.
I think the thing recognizing, there's two points I want, but recognizing also that when someone comes to us, they have a lot of things in their basket that we could probably benefit from.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of people come in, they're like, oh, which we're big on too. Like say, hey, this is our way, you do it our way. But we need to recognize like you got a lot of experience coming to us. Like I want that experience too. Like I want to learn from your past experience
I think we
so
do.
we can be better. And I think
Yeah.
we're fairly good at that. I also wanted to say, like you said, kind of your dad taught you that basket scenario.
Yeah.
I love dad lessons. I literally want to write a book on dad lessons. I think I have like lists from my dad that I've, which I still can't talk about yet. But I'm just saying, I think dad lessons is a great thing, and that'll be probably the name of my book.
Yeah.
Dad
I like
lessons,
that.
'cause I think I think that's awesome.
Flexibility.
Austin, we've moved on, so let's stop talking.
I'm trying to speed this up, guys.
Dude, you're slowing us down by making all
This
those
is
jokes.
one of the longest podcasts ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Offer flexibility, flexible work arrangements. Well, I don't know if our work arrangements are flexible.
This is a lot harder to do.
I think, well, but I mean, I
The
feel like,
the field crews don't really have much flexibility in their work arrangements.
Well,
but when it
I
comes-
beg to differ because they seem to. I mean, not to trash talk, but we do have problems with guys that just, it's like, oh, I can't make it in today,
yeah, for sure.
which is definitely a struggle. And we have to be flexible because we have no choice. So I
Yeah.
guess that's good. I think I would kind of understand flexibility more to be like just being flexible in, how we're doing the job and how things happen and how we're scheduling. I mean, things do come up. We have
Yeah.
family things that have to happen, and we
That's
can.
what I was gonna say. It's tying back to family. It's always
Yeah.
family first. We've had guys who, everybody's got personal issues. We just had
Yeah.
a guy, have to leave the job very quickly, and
We're here.
stuff happens.
Yeah,
and
we're not going anywhere.
if
We're
we
here
can help
for you.
for anything. And
Yeah, I think that's a big one. I mean, we are a family. I think we're all more flexible with family, and we look at this company as a family. So we are flexible even when we don't want to be.
Yeah.
'Cause sometimes it hurts the company when we're being flexible. But I mean, just because someone had to leave or, oh, I'm sick today and I can't come in, we're not making huge decisions. So I was going to even get there.
I'm just
Thanks,
kidding.
man.
Just helping out.
Yeah, thanks. Whatever. Now I'm don't even know what to say.
Inclusion and diversity.
Oh, I thought we were on strategic planning.
No, you
Oh,
skipped one.
not yet.
Austin's not a great counter either.
Uh,
Inclusion and diversity. I feel like this is like create a culture of inclusion. I feel like, we're all inclusive. I mean, as you can see, we just brought Sean in. I brought him in for diversity. HVAC
He's got
and
a
builders. Beard? Nope. No, I'm starting.
No,
you
but
got a
really,
beard
like-
too, no. Austin's the
Yeah.
diverse one.
I'm like a shaved cat
Yeah.
everywhere.
We are a family. It all comes down to the same thing. We're a family. If we all have the same goal, for me, inclusion and diversity comes down to the goals. What are the goals of the company? The goals of the company are to make the company money, right? A lot of people see like, oh, the goal of the company is to make the owners money. Like that's not true. Like we've been on the lower paid end for a long time. It's to build a company that can withstand the test of time and keep jobs for many people over the course of the next couple of decades. Like that's the goal here. And if everybody's on board with that, we don't see. There is no diversity. We are a team because we're all working towards the same goal.
Yeah.
The rest of it doesn't matter to me. If you are,
We did just hire a girl for the field.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she's a badass.
she's awesome. She's a great. She's on the paving crew, and she told us I'm a badass paver, and she's a badass paver from what all the guys are telling us. So, like I said, diversity, it's an inclusiveness. you're included when you're working towards the same goal as the rest of us.
Yeah.
That's all we see is the team. There's really
Mhm.
nothing else to view. 8, health and wellness. That sounds like an awesome one right there.
I'd say honestly, to step in, we've learned a lot about this in the last couple of years. We've always, tried to push and get as much done as we can. And when it comes to the summer months and it gets hot, you really have to pay attention to your guys' health and wellness. And a lot of that has to do with the heat, making sure they stay hydrated, making sure they're drinking the electrolytes that they need to be able to perform in the god awful heat that we have in Sacramento sometimes. And we got hit with a couple of hard lessons, but we learned a lot from it, and we've moved forward from that. And I feel like we're a better company because of it.
Yeah, I feel like we've always had safety as really. I mean, I think health and wellness and safety are two different. I mean, they're kind of on the same line, but
I think it all
safety is
falls
keeping the
together.
guys safe on the job, and health and wellness is helping these guys stay safe so they can be part of the team longer, right?
Yeah.
I mean, taking
So,
care of
yeah.
yourselves, and we're not in control of
Yeah.
a lot of people's personal things, their decisions, but I mean, we want people to be here for the long term. That's what we're building. I don't want employees here for the summer season. We want them here all the time.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we're always looking to take care of these guys and help them stay on the healthy side. Sometimes I think we're crazy, like stop with the energy drinks and shit, but that's not what they want to hear. But I mean, that's what we want for these guys. I don't want people smoking when they shouldn't be and drinking this. I mean, you got to take care of your body and get there. And I guess something we always work on. We could probably do a lot more in that area
Yeah.
too.
You guys need to drink more alcohol.
I'm clicking.
It's good for you.
Conflict resolution. That's a great one. We've had tons of problems with that in the past. I feel like even semi-recently, I think this week we've had some conflicts with some of the crews. Management, I think
We're lucky that we're of a decent size, I guess you could call it, because we can, if people aren't getting along, we have the ability to kind of split the crews, change who's working with who, where they work, and who they're working with. Because a lot of times people just butt heads, and there's not much you can do about it. You
Yeah.
can try to sit them down and talk to them, but really your talks probably aren't going to get much through. So we do the best we can to try to make sure that guys that get along work together, guys that don't are on a different crew.
And we want people to come to work, be
And-
happy, want to go to work.
Yeah.
and not even just separating, talking about it, right? Like I know, I mean, just us between the three of us alone, we've had plenty of conflict that we
You think?
try to resolve.
Oh,
That we
that-
try to
that'll be
resolve.
another hour.
We try to resolve with words rather than just like separating, right? And we have crews. I mean, they got to work together with fists. Yeah,
I use knives.
those are not the conflicts I'm involved in. I'm not involved in those ones.
JB has a gun.
No.
Come on.
But I mean, it's just really about. I think it comes back to communication once again, right? And I can already tell that's what Sean was going to say.
Well, and that's
so.
kind of, you and I had that conversation, JB and I did earlier this week about like almost kind of in management and ownership, you sometimes take on that role of a counselor,
Yeah.
whether that's a interpersonal with just a one-on-one with somebody with issues they're having, whether it's at work, at home, or if it's, two people that you're trying to get together in the same room and talk through conflict. I mean, that was stuff I did through high school. We had like a conflict management
Mhm.
group, and it was something we did, and it was interesting if nothing else, just because you really get to see how different people's minds work and their
Yeah.
thought processes. And I think I was always surprised with just investing a half hour in a conversation, and I feel like you get a lot out of it, more than you probably expected when you went into it.
Thanks.
You can
Great
get a
one.
lot out of a good conversation.
All right, number 10. Note to self: make these bullet points 5 points. Unless we want to have
Yeah,
our
you wrote
podcast.
this.
Yeah, way to go, Anna.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
don't.
whoever's paving
No,
that. in
he's
the
just
picture,
kidding.
though, it's
He's
really
just kidding,
nice.
yeah.
The paper's moving.
She will ruin you, Austin. I'd be careful.
Anna, I see you.
strategic planning. I think that one just kind of comes back to us, right? I think if we're tying this to employees and I keep your employees happy, I think for them it's letting them know that we have work built up, that we're working our butts off to get them work. And that's really our ultimate goal, is to make sure they stay busy all the time, right? Like as a business, they need to work in order for the company to make money. I felt like strategic planning for me is like, my budgets for next year and for both sides, HVAC and build. I mean, that just turns into a whole other thing for me, but our employees don't give a crap about that. They care that they have work next week and next month and going into next year. So I think it's just letting them know.
But what I do think ties into this is the conversation we just had yesterday or the day before when it comes to working with the guys and setting up something so that they know what's expected on each project, how much time they have on each project, what materials we have included on each project. That's strategic planning. And we can tell them, I mean, we're working on something where we can tell them this is the goal. If you can hit these goals, then we can bonus you because this is what we have bid into this project. If it costs too much, there's no money left to bonus. If you guys can work on this and you know what's expected, you know what we have in it, you can work to make it better than we even thought could be done. Because we bid stuff the way that we think it can be done in the best, fastest manner. And if you guys can do better, then there's bonuses involved in it.
Do you want to pull the knife out of my side that you just stuck in me, or what?
I just think everything's about. I think that was pretty awesome.
It's just
the way that
syndrome.
you-
Yeah.
The way that you said that was pretty good. I think it blows away what I was saying. I went a whole different direction, but yeah, I think that's strategic planning to work on. I think, which I'm sure Sean's learning, but I think David's probably very good at that. That's something I've learned a lot from David is making sure his guys know what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Like this is what the job is planned for. This is where we're at. And,
We used to never think about that at all. We didn't even use hours to bid jobs.
Yeah.
We just
no.
bid what we saw the market
That's
could
just
support.
It's like yellow pad and a
Yeah.
pencil.
Yeah, literally.
So, all right. Any more points that we missed?
I think we blew
We're
through.
way out of time.
Yes.
But thanks for joining us. If
And
you'd
so
like
this-
to reread or re-see this whole thing, you can join us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn.
There's a conclusion, Pat.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
read the
and I was
conclusion.
He
going to
doesn't
ask
need
you
that.
to do that in movie phone voice.
To end our episode, we want to ask you a question. What steps are you going to take to improve your teamwork in your organization in the coming years? I would love to hear your thoughts for sure, because I feel like I'm always looking to improve. I love hearing other people's ideas. I sat in on one of David's meetings earlier this week, and I have a ton of notes that I learned from what he was kind of saying, what he and Sean were putting out there for everybody else. So I'd love to hear what you do, because these are just kind of the tips that we work on. But I think that you always have to be improving. I think you will never be at the point where you're like, oh, we're the best at taking care of our employees. It's a never-ending battle. You always have to work. It's just like a relationship. Just like a relationship with your wife or your girlfriend or your kids. You have to put in the work. If you want to have a strong relationship, you need to put in work all the time. It's the same thing for employees. It's the same thing for our coworkers. Is you have to put in the effort to make a good relationship and to work well with them.
Remember, effective teamwork is essential to the success of
He's
any
obviously
business.
reading something.
That was a horrible
Movie
movie
phone
phone voice.
voice.
No, that was a horrible one.
It was.
Okay.
Thanks
Well,
for joining us.
Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you have a
Merry
happy New Year. We will see you in 2023. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn is our number one. Also, I heard we have 9,000
You can also
followers.
visit our website if you want to drop a line
I'm
or
just saying.
whatever.
I'm just saying we had 9,000 followers on Instagram. That's what
not
my
good
son
enough.
told me last night. 9,000. Like
I don't know
we're
if I'll buy
almost
that.
internet's famous.
Yeah.
I gotta go check that out.
Go check it out. All right. That's it. Thank you very much. Oh, geez. That just went crazy.